Hey, what's happening? Bobby Blotzer from Ratt. And if you're not in the now, you're in the nothing. Get it?
Bobby, so all-American metal band, classics by definition, coming out from the 80s. Here we are, 2013.
Yeah.
What's Ratt doing on the road right now? How's that feeling?
It's great, you know. A lot of good crowds, a lot of sellouts, and tomorrow night we're playing with Van Halen, and tonight we're here in Wichita, Kansas, at the Cotillion. And it's a trip, you know, to still see all these bands out here, you know, that literally, you know, we're going on 33 years with Ratt, which I still can't comprehend that in my brain, because, you know, 10 years is what I figured the band. Usually that's what they have, you know, it's 10 years. So I'm grateful, lucky to be playing with these guys, and we're playing better than ever, even though I have a jacked up neck right now. But I played at soundcheck when I was just playing here at soundcheck. I kind of forgot all about it, you know. So I'm hoping as soon as we hit that stage, the adrenaline will just take away the of the neck. So
I hear you. Well, appreciate you playing throughout all that. Thanks for coming back to our town. Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? You know, when you guys start out, when you mentioned Van Halen, I know you're hitting the Oshkosh show up there, I think tomorrow.
Yes.
But you guys started out with them out in the early 80s, in the early days.
Well, in actuality, we didn't start out with them. They were already, you know, giantly huge when we were slaving out clubs. But, you know, I was in a band with Don Dokken in my early years, like when I was about 17, 18 years old. We had a band called Airborne, and we used to play shows with Van Halen, you know, like in 76, 77, around LA. And we were playing cover material, they were playing cover material, and, you know, we just kind of went our ways up, you know. They kept going, of course, to the stratosphere. I hopped out of Dokken into another band, and ended up in Ratt in '82.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's just like you said, you look around now, all these guys you started with, or at least were in the era of, you know, the early 80s, you know, given the credit for like that glam era rock, the hard rock sound coming out of, you know, California, and you take a look around and you see who's left, you know, I mean, is there anybody you're actually honestly just surprised? You're like, man, I cannot believe those guys are still around. And it's not putting you on the spot.
And this isn't a slag or anything, but Motley Crue, I mean, the way, and we're bros of those guys, of course, but the way they partied, and Ozzy too, that they're walking this planet is lucky.
Yeah, it's a testament.
Seriously, man. Those guys, I mean, we could shake it up. We used to shake it up quite a bit together, but I used to ride the bus with them and watch, and I'd just go, fucking, you guys are out of your fucking minds, man.
Well, this is the stuff we actually got a glimpse of from your autobiography. Obviously, you know, that came out, you know, you published that just a couple years back, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and
it's still out, you know, selling on Amazon.com and Kindle and iTunes and my website, BobbyBlotzer.com. It still moves really good, so people dig it.
It's a good read.
Grateful for that.
Great reviews, good read. You know, the fans really welcome that. It's a lot of the stuff like you're just talking about that we don't get when you're out on the road.
Yeah.
And a lot of the stories, some people viewed it as a tell-all, but like you said in other interviews and other words, you know, that you've been quoted as saying, it's your story, isn't it?
Yeah, it's my side of things, which is the truthful side of things. And that's just, I mean, I have a really keen memory, and I always have. So I remember, like, I would say almost every date, you know, to a degree. And Steven will call me sometimes, you know, and say, hey, dude, do you remember this, and what year was that? And I'll tell him. He goes, how do you remember that shit? I'm like, I have no idea.
It's almost as if you're the historian for the group, even though they may not agree.
I might be in the way of remembering stuff, but Steven is on the way of collecting stuff. He's a collector of, like, all things Ratt. I don't even own our CDs, so
really,
that's how pathetic I am. Thanks.
You don't have a Ratt lunchbox? Come on now. I mean, I thought everybody had a Ratt lunchbox.
I don't know. I'm hungry though. You mentioned lunch.
But so a follow up with that book. Is there anything else in the works? I know you were talking about having some more stories brought out, more things that you wanted to cover out for the fans. Did you ever get a chance to put anything else out since?
You mean on a book level? I thought about doing a follow up to that. You know. Maybe next year.
Okay.
Because there's been, you know, by then it'll have been really, you know, what would it be, 5 years since I started that book. So we'll see. You
I hear you. So
There's a lot of juicy stuff that's happened since then. So
imagine it never ends, does it?
well, I mean, when I say juicy, I don't mean like, oh, I got to tell you this, but a lot of fun. My book's full of fun stuff, and it also covers like the turbulence too. You can't give your stuff away unless you're really giving it away. However, there's a limit to that for me. When anybody's family is involved and friends, you know what I mean? There's certain things you just don't get into, but there's certain things that define where you are and where you've gone and where you're going and where you're at, So that's where I will touch on,
Yeah, that's something that's been in the reviews. You carefully walk around the subjects, out of respect, but still telling your story. So that's a unique perspective. A lot of people don't.
Well, Ratt, we've always been just not physically, but just 5 chiefs and no Indians,
Yeah, I've heard that phrase before.
So it's like getting things done is interesting.
I hear it.
Takes a lot of hours.
So this tour that you're going on now, we recently just saw you at a festival like Oklahoma. I was actually there, saw you. It was getting you guys from Media Pit, so it was an excellent show.
Yeah,
well received, And so you're out there doing that now. It looks like you're just heading out, probably up in the northern part of the U.S. for about.
Well, what we're doing here is we came in late because we were off the road for the last couple of years. There was an issue that we couldn't resolve, and we finally resolved it, but it was the end of February.
Okay.
So then we were, you book your tour in August, November of the prior year. So we had to have our agent go out and see what was available to us.
Yeah.
So we put together about 25, 30 fly-out shows, and now we're trying to mount this fall tour on a bus, like a 35 city thing, and that's in the works right now. So that's a TBA situation.
I see. And I hate to ask, is that really because of maybe some of the other solo projects everyone's tied to? I mean, perhaps your own projects and other members. Not naming names, just seeing if is that the logistics that we're dealing with Ratt today, 2013?
No, it's not any outside projects. I mean, discussing that wouldn't be something I'd want to say right now, but it's something pretty simple that took a couple years to resolve. So.
You're here, and that's the best part.
But to be honest, we haven't had a break since we put the band back together. The band was broke up for 5 years, from 92 to 97. And we haven't stopped since 97, So I was okay for one summer, because I can go boating and do all my things. And that's what we predominantly do is tour summer. And then, we'll tour in the winter and do flyouts, but, we'll do a bus tour, like a 3-month tour in the summer. So that kind of takes away from one of my passions, which is boating, and camping and that kind of thing, in the summer. But then after the second summer, I was like, all right, enough of this. Let's not let another summer go by, guys. We find, somewhere out here, and it feels good.
No, it's good. It's good.
Not my neck, but the tour.
That's excellent. But yeah, speaking of that downtime, it sounds like you got into multiple projects. You got into the culinary arts, if you will. You got like a wine production.
Yeah, I tried to dabble in branding, and it's an interesting game. It's cool. I liked it. And the wine was really good. I had a great winemaker, and we, however, didn't, gel on the business side.
So yeah, gotten in the culinary arts. You have your own wine, products. It looks like you have other things out there too. It's not even just one.
Yeah, but the branding thing is hard to do because it's a lot of money to get it on shelves. If you're just relying on internet buyers, you get somewhat of return. We can definitely get return business, but to reach a large group of people, man, it needs to be eye level on the shelves. And that costs a lot of dough. And I was doing my salsa. I make my own salsa, which is excellent stuff. I must say. And but branding's a different game. I don't know. The book was a kind of an easy one because
it's your story.
It's just a little different. So I don't know. I don't know if I'm gonna visit that situation.
I hear you.
But I just want to put my sights on Ratt and what we're doing.
Yeah, talking about some of the surviving members of the band.
Since one has rejoined us, there's a different vibe with the audience than us. I gotta tell you. I wasn't expecting that.
You see it from the kid. You've got the best view in the house. So how do you see it?
Well, I can hear it and feel it, like the energy coming from the audience and what we're projecting to them is kind of slopping back and forth.
Yeah.
I mean, you hear the audience. You don't stand out there and just hold the mic out, and it's just like, we'll look at each other and go, it sounds like 85 again. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
People are really gravitating more than they were before into some, I don't know, it's something in the air. I don't know, you know, but it feels good.
That's good. That's the feel. That's what it's all about, isn't it? You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
it is.
So speaking of that feel, you know, coming from the days of Out of the Cellar, Invasion of Your Privacy, you know, then to the recent Infestation, you know, that's that feel that was described in that album even, you know, trying to get that feel from those early era albums. Is there anything in the works we can expect maybe in the future with Ratt? I mean, I know that the tour is one thing, but how does that feel?
Well, I
as
mean,
far
we
as
put
the
out
studio?
Infestation in 2010,
Yeah.
which everybody loved, critics,
Yeah,
fans,
it's well
the
received.
band. I'd like to see, we're getting ready to work on a new record, and I hope it comes out as good as that, because that record would have fit very comfortably between, in my opinion, between Out of the Cellar and Invasion of Your Privacy.
Perfect.
So, we'll see what the new one's going to be like, you know, with Juan back in the fold. And,
Yeah.
you know, the thing about recording new stuff is like, well, there's a pocket of people that love, you know, get it. It just doesn't, you know, no bands, including huge acts like Bon Jovi or Leopard and all that, they put out something that's, you know, barely touches gold, you know. I mean, that the record I was just talking about, Infestation, I think it did about 150,000 copies. And the record was like, no, that's good in this day and age. I guess people just don't buy CDs. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
The
you guys,
older you get, the more you don't. But I don't. It's just a weird phenomenon. You know?
it is. I mean, you guys are Grammy-nominated, you know, material. You know, you guys have been out there. You've done the thing. So it's just, you're right. It's just a hit or miss thing. Speaking of the label, though, how's it with Roadrunner? You know, with them still throughout all these years, you know, starting out with Atlantic, but now with Roadrunner. How's that relationship with you all?
Right.
Still
You know,
going pretty
Atlantic just bought Roadrunner, so
Yeah.
we're back with Atlantic. You know,
Yeah,
so which is
full circle, isn't it?
yeah, totally. And I mean, let's face it here, man. You know, this is. And I tell these guys, you know, in trying to resolve the issues I was discussing, you know, I was like, you guys, if we're a clock, if Ratt is a clock, it's 10 to 12, okay? So you want to sit around and, you know, everybody stand pat on their own thing, or work this out and let's get out there and have some fun, make some dough, make the fans happy, and, you know, let's get on with it.
Yeah.
And because really, you know, we're not spring chickens. I'm 55, and I'm playing the best in my game right now too. So, you know, I want to go out that way too. I don't know when that's going to be. I think I could do this for at least another 10, 12 years. You know.
It's a good thing, yeah. You know, a lot of bands are, you know, they just, like Motley Crue's have been quoted, Nikki Sixx, all those guys have been quoted saying, you know, we'll just go when our time's there. Poison, Bret Michaels, you know, they all say
Well,
the same
Nicky's
thing.
he came to
Yeah.
our show in California a couple
Oh, yeah?
weeks ago, or actually in June 14th, and he's like, yeah, we're retiring. I'm like, other than the fact that you got buckets full of money, why are you going to retire? You look great. You guys are playing great. You know, Mick's probably having a little bit of a problem up there, but, you know, I don't. Look how many times the Who's retired. They started retiring in '81, and they're on tour right now. So
We're on the 10th comeback, aren't we?
yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Ratt's retirement tour next year. Actually, it's going to be our 30th Out of the Cellar anniversary.
That's insane when you think about it.
I know, it's really weird.
Unreal.
What?
So yeah, just going back to the tour. So we're talking about the U.S. Are you guys going back overseas at all? You know, I mean,
We're going to
worldwide.
South America. We're playing with Aerosmith down in South America, and they're putting a tour. We tried to get the whole tour. That didn't happen, sadly. But we're playing a stadium down in Sao Paulo. I hope I'm saying
Yeah,
that
it's
right.
just down from Rio de Janeiro.
And
Nice.
playing the soccer stadium with Aerosmith, Whitesnake, Ratt, Buck Cherry, Dawkins,
Oh wow.
Queensryche.
Mm-hmm.
So I think what we're trying to do, if I hope it happens, is continue on around this South America with Queensryche with us, you know.
That's awesome.
And then we want to go. I mean, I want to go everywhere. Let's go. Just book it, and I'll come. You know.
Yeah, so back out to Asia, even Europe. I mean,
Love
is
to.
that-
You know, the thing about Japan and all that, they generally want a new record. They want you to be touring around a record. That's what I'm told.
Yes.
So I'm like, well, let's say we never had a new record. You're saying we can't tour there? What is this? You know, I want to go. I love touring Japan. We do very well over there. I always have. I love the
Well
audience.
received, definitely.
And I want to go back to Australia. You know, we were there in 2007 or 8 or something like that. I can't remember. It was 2007, and it was great. You know.
How about Europe? I mean, you guys did the Monsters of Rock theme years ago at Donington. Any desire to go back? I was just
Well,
there
we
last
had
time.
a tour booked in 2010, which was our last tour.
Yeah.
And Steven got a hernia.
Oh yeah. Wow.
So we had to cancel the tour. It was all giant festivals.
Right.
It was
right.
very sad that he had a hernia too, but we had to cancel those days because, you know, our whole career we've been chasing Europe, trying to break Europe, you know. So it is what it is.
Yeah, it's still out there though. You know, it's
We do okay. We do okay, but you know, some people really cultivated that market. Some, you know, do okay. You know.
Yeah.
Look how long it took Aerosmith and Van Halen to play there. I mean, decades. You know?
Yeah, it's true. It just varies, doesn't
So
it?
it's a trippy audience. They're very cool, but to get the real masses, you gotta have that something. I'm sure if we have that something that they want.
No, I hear you.
So,
but speaking of bands, like you just mentioned Queensryche with Jeff Tate, you know, I just recently caught his, you know, Queensryche, if you will. When was the last time you even played with them? You know,
well, I was
with
gonna
Jeff?
play in that band.
Were you really? Yeah.
We did a photo shoot, and I think when that came out, we were getting ready to start rehearsals because the first show was going to be in April. I knew to let these guys know that, and then, you know, that kind of helped bring things together. So
Awesome. Okay. All right. It's nice that you still got the relationship with everybody. Just, you know, where you can jump from one project to the next. If you had, you know, the time or the breaks here and there, it sounds like.
Yeah, I mean, I was looking forward to doing that gig because I have a lot of respect for Queensryche material and Jeff Tate and all the guys in the band anyway. Both Queensryches, and I hate saying that, whether it's Queensryche, Great White, or whatever.
But we're talking
because I went through that, and it's a bummer, man, when you have this dissolve thing and everybody wants, you know, the Heinz ketchup brand, you know.
That's a great way to look at it.
You know what I mean? What are you going to do? You're going to walk away going, wait a minute, I helped build Heinz ketchup.
Yeah.
I'm part of Heinz ketchup, so now we have.
By the way, no sponsorship to Heinz ketchup.
I'm looking to get an endorsement deal with Heinz ketchup. They are from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, my hometown.
Yeah.
So,
nice segue.
But, you know.
But yeah, no, it's the 25th. What is it? 25th anniversary, right? We're talking for Empire here, so you know, and they're both out. I mean, you got to feel that pride. So it's just, I'm with you. It's just.
I was looking forward to that, and I'm kind of sorry that didn't happen. But you know, Ratt's my priority, and that's just where it falls. You know.
It's a good way to look at it. So one of the last things I want to finish out here with is what made you pick up the sticks in the first place?
I played guitar first.
Did you?
I started playing harmonica first, harp.
So then why the sticks?
And what's that?
Why pick up the drumsticks?
Well, I was jamming with a friend of mine named Marty, and he was a drummer. I had a guitar and an amp, and we were, you know, we'd play until we'd run out of songs, and then we'd switch around, and he played guitar too. So and I just started playing his drum set. I just immediately sat down and was able to formulate a beat right out of the gate, you know.
That's awesome.
And then I started playing his drums more and more and more. I started getting better than him. And then I said, look, why don't we switch here? And I gave him the guitar and amp. He gave me the drum set. And
the rest is history.
Yeah, the rest is history. I was in my bedroom with headphones on, playing all my favorite records every day for hours and hours a day. And you know, within a year's time, I was in 2-3 bands. You know. Good choice.
Not to say we won't say, you know.
I still play guitar right. I still play guitar right, so I
not to rob you of your potential guitar. You know,
no, I mean, you know, I'm very much at home behind a kit. You know, I don't know if I don't know if I feel comfortable out in the front. You know.
But so who are your influences then now? You know, after all these years, you know, who would you look back and say, yeah, those are the people that actually, besides just the story you told us about how you picked it up in the first place.
Well, I mean, you know,
who are the
obviously the obvious choices for somebody at my age, you know, would be Beatles and Stones, Zeppelin. You know, I like progressive stuff a lot too. You know, Emerson, Lake and Palmer, and Yes.
Oh wow.
Other deeper progressive stuff that I don't even need to mention, but. I love Motown music. You know, drummer-wise, you know, Bonham, he was a great, big influence for me. I love Cozy Powell, Ainsley Dunbar.
Oh wow.
Mitch Mitchell, Ian Pace, and that's the cats that I learned to do. Each one of them have a particular influence on the way my style has become my style. You know, and. I mean, for example, Mitch Mitchell, my cymbal work is, you know, derived from Mitch Mitchell's cymbal work, you know, and just on and on. You know, the speed emphasis I do, Ian Pace, I took from Ian Pace. footwork that would come from, John Bonham, Leonard Hayes from YT. Alex Van Halen, I think, is a great drummer, and on and on.
Yeah, no, it's
But the Beatles are the top for me, especially for songs and music.
of course, yeah, for many.
I think for everybody, everybody. For me, I'll just say it like this: the elevator that goes to the top floor and doesn't go any higher. The top floor is the Beatles, and that's just.
That's a great way to put it.
That's never going to change.
Yeah.
There's never going to be another Beatles.
I was just going to say the same words. Yeah, you'll
I
never
mean,
see
you
those.
can never
guys.
say never, but I just don't think we'll ever see it in our lifetimes.
I know. I certainly.
How can you? That was a supernova. You know what I mean? 8 years, and the material that they have written.
It's so true.
It's crazy.
So true. But lastly, Bobby, I mean, now that we talk about all these genres and all the influences, it sounds like you got a great wide variety of music to listen to. If I were to ask you what was the last song you just listened to before going out on your sound check or anything like that, like on your MP3 player?
That's funny, actually.
Yeah, what was the last song you heard?
The last song I heard was I got a massage today because I told you my neck's blown out.
Yeah, sorry.
And I had the headphones on. The last song was "A Change Will Do You Good" by Sheryl Crow. A change.
That's a good song. It's a good deal. Good deal. Well, Bobby, that's all we had time for. So thanks again for chilling with us within the now, and definitely looking forward to catching the set tonight. Thanks again for the time, and good luck with the rest of the tour, man. So peace out.
See you
in the
guys.
now.